Hi everyone, in this video I would be discussing about guidelines and things to remember while going for the exam. What happens is we prepare for the whole year but we mess up on the examination day because we miss out on the basic points and we ruin a whole year preparation on the day where we are supposed to perform our best. So how we can avoid those silly things and make our exam the best? The first thing is about the timing. As I know, it has been mentioned in the admit card that you have to reach the examination center just before the closing time. That is 9:30 is the examination starting time. You have to reach at the max to max 9:20. But I would suggest you to max reach by 9. Avoid reaching after 9. Ideally, I would say reach at the 8:50 because what happens is you are going to have OMR sheet this time. So you have to fill all the credentials in the OMR sheet which is going to consume your time. So for filling that you have to take an extra time. So if you reach by 9, your verification process would take around 10 to 15 minutes and the 15 minutes you are going to provide to fill your OMR credentials. Because the exam is going to start at the 9:30 and over at 11:30. So 2 hours you have to completely dedicate to your paper. So to fill the OMR and to do the verification process, you have to take in 30 minutes extra for that. So reach max to max by 9 or ideally 8:50. Next thing is what things to carry for the examination. Admit card, your photo ID proof, that we all know, but what are the other things? Next but most important thing is simple wristwatch. You are not supposed to carry the digital ones but you are allowed to carry the simple wristwatch. Why it is important? Because this time you are going to have your exam in the government schools and there is no guarantee they are going to provide you with a wall clock or not. So I would suggest you from my side, please carry the simple wristwatch so that you can manage your time accordingly. Next thing is black ballpoint. I would suggest you again to carry with you. Maybe they can provide you at the examination center, but by chance if they don't have, so please carry your black ballpoint. If they provide then it's good, but from your side you should carry. Next is 2 passport size photo. What happens is if your photo is not clearly visible on the admit card, then they would ask you for the 2 passport size photo. It is not compulsory for everyone, but if you have your photo on the admit card which is not clear, then you are supposed to carry the 2 passport size photo. Next is paracetamol 650 mg. Why I am saying this? You are going to have your exam in the 2 sessions on a single day. You are completely awake in your first session, but what happens is after that session of 2 hours you have been provided with the 2 hours for the lunch time. During that you are probably going to face a headache, and after that headache you have to attend the session again for the 2 hours in which you have to be completely awake. So what I do is I have taken the paracetamol in the lunch session so that I do not face a headache and I do not ruin my exam. So I use this. I choose to tell you all so that you are also not going to face the similar problem. Next is lunch. If you are in a hurry and go with a breakfast only for the exam, and suppose you do not have anything to eat nearby to have a lunch, so what happens is during your next session you would be hungry and because of that you would ruin your exam. So please carry a lunch with you so that if anything is not available nearby, so you can at least consume that and perform in the exam well. These are the basic things, but these things only create the major difference that everyone perform well in the paper 1, but because they are not awake in the next session, so they ruin their complete exam, either because of the headache or because they have not consumed the tea or because they have not consumed the lunch. So these are the basic things, but they can be a savior for you in the exam. Next is wear mask. It's compulsory. Now I have discussed about the timing and what things to carry. Now again important thing is what to do during 11:40 to 1:30. You are done with your paper 1 and and before the paper 2 starts, you have been provided with this 11:40 to 1:30 time. What to do during this exam? These are approx 2 hours. So, have a lunch in that time, have a tea, consume paracetamol, avoid talking. What happens is, avoid talking, because if you talk, so you will feel fatigue after the 2-hour break, in which that break is provided for you to be charged, but you consumed it in talking. So you are going to feel the fatigue in the exam and you are not going to perform well in the paper 2. So in that time, I would suggest you search for the answer in the question which you left in the paper 1 or which doubtful, because in my session also 5 questions from the paper 1 repeated in the paper 2 and 3 questions were which I was unable to attempt in the paper 1. So in the paper 1 also I have to left that questions, then again I have to left that same question in the paper 2. So I would suggest you to please go through all the doubtful or the left questions of the paper 1. Who knows that those questions again repeated in paper 2. So I would suggest you do that, but do not feel depression. If by chance you make those questions wrong in the paper 1, so don't take it that you are out of the race. Maybe you could make that questions correct in the paper 2. So take it positively. Now, when the paper 2 session start, what you should do? You should enter the hall at the 1:20 or 1:30. Take a nap. Why I am saying take a nap is, when you reach early in the hall, now the verification process is not going to take time. You just have to do the biometric and sit on your seat. Take a nap there, and when you are going to provide the OMR sheet, fill that. And the most important in the last thing is, do not affect your paper 2 with your paper 1 performance. The biggest mistake you can do is this. Suppose you are unable to perform in the paper 1, or by chance some questions went wrong. So what happens is that paper 1 not performing well, जो guilt develop होता है ना, do not make that guilt come with you in the paper 2 session. Paper 1 was a different thing and paper 2 is a completely different thing, because the subjects are different for both the papers. So if you are unable to perform in paper 1, maybe you could perform well in the paper 2 and you can bring out the marks from the paper 2 which can overcome your paper 1 performance. So take both papers as a different sets and do not mix the feelings of both the papers in both the sessions. So I hope you got my message. So please perform well, because I know you really worked hard. So all the best. Thank you.